Okay, hear me?
Now we're on. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Immortals Inc. podcast. This episode, we're going to talk about some Call of Cthulhu. We're going to go over some new products, and I got some exciting new stuff to talk about from some of our stream stuff we've been doing. Today, I'm Carlos Robles, part owner of
Just
Immortals
today you're
Inc.
Carlos?
Well, sometimes I'm not. And as always, we have Nate Elwood with us.
How you doing?
And today, I don't know. We started a little late today because there's like a snowstorm going on outside. So, is that why you were late?
Yeah, traffic.
It's unacceptable.
Terrible.
Heresy.
Yes.
But let's get started with some new product here. Since nobody can go without booster packs of any kind, Space Marine Heroes is it's kind of like a booster pack for
40K, huh?
40K, yeah. It's got limited. I don't know if they're limited, but there's 9 different miniatures you can buy. It's a random buy, and it's like a little box, and it comes unassembled. But I guess the big one in here is a captain because they got it blacked out here. But it's a 1 in 36 chance of getting it. There's other Space Marines, there's sergeants, there's a couple guys. There's a kind of a cool one with a rocket launcher with the rocket coming out of it. So different poses.
How many are in a box like that? 36 in there?
9.
9 in there. Oh,
No. That can't be right. There's 12. Oh, there's 12 booster packs in
12
here.
booster packs. So you,
$7 a piece.
I know people who will definitely be like, oh, I'll buy 4 or
No,
5.
people
just to-
ask for
yeah.
them, so I got a lot of them, and
Yeah.
so we're gonna hopefully see some.
If you make anything scarce or random, for some reason to
I
me
know,
it's
that's
less
what they want.
appealing.
It's
'Cause
like
it's like I know
I mean,
I like hitting. So
I have a Space Marine army, and I was like, well, I'd buy it. I'd try it for 1 or 2 times, see what's happening. But I guess a captain is. I don't know if it's unique. I hate to say it's unique because I'm not sure.
right.
So
It's GW.
I'll find out. Yeah, I'm sure it is. Anyway, we've got that. There's plenty of these there. This crazy little deck, Keyforge. Josh explained this to me. These decks are collectible. You can't buy the cards and then make singles out of them, make different decks.
Okay.
They're created by a computer, and there's like a couple million different variations of these card decks. You buy a deck and you play against each other, and the deck is what is collectible. I think when they go to tournaments already, they have like,
There's a deck list in there.
yeah, there's a deck list in here, and if you go to a tournament, you have to give them the deck list, and then they check it against this.
Oh, so like each
Box
box,
deck, each box is a
unique.
collectible. Unique. It's like opening a pack of cards, and this is your one card. This is your one deck.
So that's
But there's so many different
I heard one deck's on eBay for like $1,000.
already. Josh says
I don't know if that's true or
Well, you can probably check that, but Josh says one deck sold for $1,000 on eBay already. So I don't know how to play it or what's going on. I think our Flavor Text, our board game guys, played this game on stream last week, and now they want it and they have a hard time getting it. So
It's Fantasy Flight too. So I mean,
yeah, it's Fantasy Flight. So it's always good.
They always put out stellar products.
This was Richard Garfield.
Oh, really?
I believe it is Richard Garfield. It is Richard Garfield. So Richard Garfield developed. Yeah, right now on the front, a unique deck game by Richard Garfield.
Oh,
come in. We only got so many. $10 a deck, which is not bad.
No.
And
especially for something that's one of a kind, right?
Yeah. So come on in, give it a try, and if you want some, we have some until we run out. So we've run out twice now. So we'll keep getting it. You keep buying it. Azul came out with a new product, stained glass of Sintra, because I'm going to pronounce that terribly wrong. And
looks right to me. So.
It's an expansion for Azul. I guess it's. I don't know much about the game, but
it's a fun little game. It's basically a tile game. You have to kind of watch it and play it. It's hard to just describe, but anybody can learn it. I mean, my kids are young and they picked it up quick. It is a fun game to just sit around and you basically make patterns and tiles and stuff. And it's fun. It
says 8 and up, 30 minutes playing time on the back.
It's not a huge time commitment. It's fun.
Yeah, it's good for family. A lot of families buy it and stuff like that. Ascension has released another expansion. It's not an expansion; it's a standalone. But you can like with any games from Ascension, they can you can mix them in with other games. Do you play Ascension at all?
I've seen it. I've never picked it up.
My wife likes Ascension. It's a deck building game, and you just it's one deck building game. You have one deck, and everybody draws from it, and you just basically pull monsters at random, and you buy them off the thing. It's a deck building game. It's basically but it's really
kind of like a poker deck building game because everybody's sharing the same deck.
Yes. And then what happens is it goes back and forth. But it's a really good game. There's an online game too. There's an app or something you can play and you can learn it.
Solitaire, huh?
Yeah, and you can play it by yourself.
Another 3.
I don't know if you can play. Well, this does say 1 to 4 players, so you can play it by yourself too. So, but it's a good game. If you know Ascension, just the latest one came out, standalone or mix it in with the old set. Man, crazy. And my favorites, because everybody hates me when I get this stuff, but everybody loves it. Rick and Morty Risk. Play as one of the power-hungry factions out of dominance for control. The Gazopians, post-apocalyptic people, mythologues, robotic exoskeleton dogs, or the U.S. government. Because
they fit in there.
Yeah, they fit right in. Wage fierce battles to take over territories and control key regions along the central finite curve, attempting total conquest. It's Risk with Rick and Morty, and I think Rick and Morty can open random portals. But it's got a whole bunch of cool little miniatures, and it's Risk. It's cool.
Is it you just pop a New Guinea and build your way up again type of thing, or you start in the island country and then just conquer everyone?
Yeah, I don't know. No, it's broken up by 6. Yeah, there's 6 different areas to take over, so it looks like cool. Yeah, so it's like any Risk. I think they vary the various Risks around. So.
Oh, I remember when they came out with the Risk, what was it, 22, something like that? It was set in the future. You could colonize the moon and the ocean.
Yeah, funny thing. I had that, and when it came out, it was like limited.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I sold it to somewhere. It was like Canada or something like that, and a guy bought it. That set, and then the expansion. There was a big moon map. And we kept writing back and forth to each other, like, hey, I didn't get this yet. I'm like, well, I don't know what's going on. And then he's like, hey, it got held up in customs because it was a war game going to military base. And I was like, oh, okay. I know. I was like, I don't know what's going on the moon then. Space Force, everybody.
Well,
Space
Force, yes.
We're signing Josh up for Space Force. His own rocket pack. Speaking of Space Force, Dice Masters came out with 40K.
Good segue there.
Battle for Ultramar campaign box set. If you like Dice Masters and you like 40K, you should get this. This is a core rule box. Comes with 76 dice, 62 cards, a tray, and the mats and everything to play. It's the same mechanics as Dice. You play Dice Masters?
I've seen it played. It's a lot of dice.
Yeah, it's a lot of dice. It's kind of fun. It's a quick game. It is collectible, of course, so that goes crazy.
Yahtzee on steroids.
Yeah. If you like Dice Masters, this is out. We have the starter sets. Come on in, and even if you like 40K and you want to try a different game that doesn't take hours.
Yeah, 4 hours to play.
Yeah, try this. It's got all the Chaos and Primaris. I think it's Primaris Marines is what they're keying on this one. And last but not least, Here, help me move this, Nate.
There you go.
Ah, there we go.
It's a tome.
This is the Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition slipcase limited edition crazy rulebook with DM screen core. The art from the special edition, the guy who did the special edition arts for the various source books, he did the arts for this. Did you see this open yet, Josh? Is it nice? It says it's incredible. I'm not going to open this because this one's for sale and I'm too cheap to buy one for myself. But it does have all of the art is new on the covers. The covers are that nice, soft, like fake, whatever it is.
Fake
like
leather.
Fake dragon skin leather. And then this is an excellent holiday gift. This is going to be printed for a limited time, obviously. And once it's gone, it's gone.
Kind of like that. It's kind of all the new erratas and everything.
Oh, it's all updated?
So it's all... Yeah, it's all updated.
All right. Yep. All the first books with everything updated.
Also comes with the DM screen.
Yeah, the DM screen. It's kind of nice.
Also limited edition.
Yeah.
All right, so I see the 3 books. That must be the GM.
Yeah, it's all folded up. It's screening. But yeah, that's illustrated by Hydro74 and all the all new covers. So
very Art Nouveau looking.
Yeah, I know. It's very nice. Cool, very nice. Sold a few already, and by Christmas, if these are still here, I'll be amazed. Hefty,
it's D&D. I mean,
hefty retail price of $169.95, but
not really when you think about it. If you buy 3 books,
is it?
Yeah, if you buy all 3 books,
3 books in the DM screen.
Plus, you get that cool like bragging rights. Like this is limited.
This is mine. You can look at it, but don't touch it.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you need to, you can defend yourself with that. It's
that's a good 40 pounds.
That's what I'm always looking for. I'm always looking for something I can defend myself with. So anyway, so it brings us to Nate. And what are we here to talk about today, Nate? So I'm going to dump all this on you.
One of the old but great role-playing games, Call of Cthulhu. This game's been around over 20 years now. It's on its 7th edition, and it's still going strong. And you will have people that have loved this game and people that will carry on loving this game probably for as long as there's still print.
That's me drinking. I get so dry. Call of Cthulhu is, and if you come over to me, Josh, I'm going to show you the latest book. This is the latest hardcover book, 7th edition. This is $54.95, but more importantly, it has all the rules you need.
Yes.
To play this game.
There's a character pack that expands upon the rules and everything, which I would, if you actually want to get into the game, pick it up. It's really good for players to really get a good feel of the type of characters they want to play. But yes, this one book you could technically just pick this up, and it's hefty. It's almost 700 pages or close to. I mean, it's a big
I've played, and this is the only book I've ever really used, like to play even with
to get the rules down. Yeah. Right.
It has the rules. It has the players, how to build characters. It has how to DM. I don't know if this one has a little adventure in the back. I know
it does.
It does.
All the books I think have a small little adventure.
And then monsters. All the Cthulhu monsters are in here. Magic is in here. Yeah.
Sanity. All the fun.
Everything's in there. But it's a simple role playing game. Well, it's not simple, but as compared to.
I mean, in all honesty, for a player getting into it, if you have people that know how to. That goes without saying for any game. If you have somebody who knows how to play, it's going to be kind of simple. But it is easy to pick up. If you have a pre-generated character, it's even better. It's percentile rolls. So if your character has a 53% chance, let's say, drive a car, or, aggressively, or he's in a chase, you roll percentile dice. If you roll under 53%, hey, you got a success. I mean, so it's not difficult in that. There's not a lot of math involved, but it is.
I think there's math when you make the character for all your attributes and everything like that. But I think once that math translates into your abilities to do things,
right,
and anything else you need to roll. So once you get that math out of the way, it's pretty much over. Yeah. You just, hey, what's my sanity? Hey, what's my ability to drive a car, shoot a gun? Whatever it is, you just roll and that's it. That's why I like the pre-generated character.
Yeah, it does take a while. If you actually generate a character in Call of Cthulhu, it takes a little bit of time. And Call of Cthulhu is one of those games where you really don't get overly attached to your characters. I mean,
you go in knowing that,
right?
Though.
I mean, you definitely go in. You know that there's going to be 2 options for your character. 1, he lives long enough to go insane and die, or 2, he just gets killed, or she, or whatever.
Some horrible fashion, in a forgotten grave.
There is no just they go to sleep and don't wake up. This is being ripped apart by evil beings or.
Classic movies where everybody has a last word to say to some family member.
Yes.
Nope. Nope, you're just gone.
You're gone.
Nobody's here.
Whatever happened to Joe? Yeah, you know?
But do you like well, where are on the mechanics? Do you like the mechanic? Would you go to mechanics? I mean, the mechanics haven't changed over all the rules, right?
They
little bit
tweak
here and
them.
there. Yeah,
they tweak
yeah.
them. Each edition has tweaked it one way or another. This edition, for those who have played it, they tweaked the POW characteristic and some sanity stuff. And to be honest, though, the basics of it are still there. If you liked Call of Cthulhu in any of its iterations from first edition onwards, you will like the 7th edition game.
Yeah,
you will.
And it's just easy. It's just normal people is all the characters are. There's no superhumans.
Of course, you can have any player. You know, there's rules to make any type. If you want to make a Green Beret, you could do it.
Oh, well, that's still not I wouldn't consider that a super character. It's just
but
you know,
you're definitely not heroic characters in the fact
no.
that, like, you know, when you play D&D, you're playing above average.
Mm-hmm.
Like whatever the normal people are in a village, what you're above, because you're an adventurer. I mean, a blacksmith in a village isn't going to go out adventuring because he likes to live. And he's got income and all. I mean, it takes a certain type of person to like leave home and possibly go into the unknown to die. This, on the other hand,
I think you're not to cut you off again, but you're the blacksmith.
Yes.
And you know, it came to you.
discovered
Your adventurers
something.
left,
Right.
and nobody's there, and all of a sudden you're the blacksmith or you're the cook, and all of a sudden whatever horrible thing happened that the adventurers would usually take care of. I'm sorry, take care of. They show up and it's over.
I mean, the whole premise of Call of Cthulhu, it's based off of H.P. Lovecraft, and he was one of the best horror sci-fi writers of all time. Unfortunately, he died before he ever got big, much like some of the other.
If you ever read the history, like I'm like a H.P. Lovecraft fanatic.
Oh, me too.
He did not like mass media and did not like
he didn't like a lot of
movies, and he didn't. He was a bit of a
was a
racist.
to say a bit of a racist is a bit, but he was also born in 1890. New England.
So
I mean,
that could be.
You can't totally write it off, but yeah, he was a product of his time.
Yeah.
Definitely a product of his time. Now, I'll say this. I love his writing. If I ever got to meet the guy, I probably wouldn't like him. But I definitely loved his imagination.
Don't meet your heroes. But good imagination, good horror, all this stuff is. I mean, we've gone over it before, but if you don't know him, look him up. It's a lot of modern stuff that's good is based on his.
Almost. I could say like 9/10 of a lot of the modern horror and sci-fi.
Yeah.
Draws off of some of the things that he had written about or his proteges wrote about.
Yeah, and they just
some of his quotes. I mean, some of them are just fantastic.
You see them all the time. And
like the my favorite is the oldest and strongest emotion in mankind is fear, and the strongest fear is fear of the unknown.
Yeah, and that pretty much sums up this game.
It's all based upon the premise that we are in a vast cosmic universe, and humans are this minuscule, infinitesimal dust particle amongst it all. We do not matter.
And these ancient beings have existed for eons, and they have their own wars and problems going on, and we just happen to be.
We're not even an afterthought to them.
Yeah, we just happen to be on the roadside as they go by.
Right. It's
and
that's another whole part of the sanity system is as you start to realize that you are not a unique snowflake. There is
no.
Your God doesn't exist, and all that. It's like
all that crazy
the truth
talk
is
all that crazy talk.
But not only that, but the system itself can be played in so many different settings. Even they have Cthulhu Invictus, which is Bronze Age and Roman times. They have Dark Ages, so throughout the Middle Ages, and then the actual this role playing core book here has from, I want to say, you have the Gaslight, so the 1890s. You also have when it was originally set in the 20s.
Really excellent 20s. It's a good time for it. But.
Yeah. And then you can even bring it all the way up into modern and beyond, into the future.
Yeah.
So it's been well supplemented, and it's definitely been well received by everyone. I mean, this game, not like the 7th edition in general, but just Call of Cthulhu in general, has received more accolades than I can even count.
Lot of it's a standard, and I'm surprised it's coming back strong again, like with the role playing surge. I know in the last edition it kind of. I don't know. There was some Kickstarter mess, I think. Don't quote me, but you would probably know more than I would.
Well, Call of Cthulhu, I think, is coming back to the forefront because of a different type of media, and that's a video game. Mm-hmm. I want to say in the early 2000s, on the first Xbox, there was a Call of Cthulhu game, and it basically was the actual story Call of Cthulhu, just all about a horrific little town in
Dunwich.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
not Dunwich. Innsmouth.
Or yeah,
Innsmouth.
what did I say? Dunwich.
Yeah, but it was a great video game and people liked it. And now they just came out with a new game on PS. I think it's only on PS4. It might be on Xbox.
Oh.
It's on everything.
What is it?
But
Second City.
Sunken City.
Oh, is it out now?
I think so.
Why did you not buy that for me?
Christmas coming up.
Yeah, Christmas
Christmas
is coming
coming
up.
up.
There you go.
The other one you're thinking about is the Innsmouth one is called. I just sold it. I had an old
Oh, Escape
PC
from
copy.
Into the Darkness.
Yeah, that's
Into the
it.
Darkness.
But yeah, that's very good stuff, and it's crazy.
Plus, and there's like subgenres of it too. I brought my favorite iteration, which is Delta Green. This came out in the 90s, where you play basically FBI characters. The inspiration for the game that I ran not that long ago came from this. If you can find this, pick it up. This is hours of entertainment. It's very dated now, unfortunately, since it was in the 90s. It's I think X-Files.
Yes, that's
But
exactly what it was.
It is great.
Is that
It
the
great.
original print of it?
This is the original, yeah.
You want that?
I do.
I'm pretty sure that's worth something. I'm not sure. I'm thinking,
This one's even with it being beat up. It's
yeah, I
but
know. I'm looking at it going,
yeah. I saw you starting to drool.
I know. I was like, how can he forget that?
But it also crossed genres too. It went into. I got this in the early 2000s. This is the D20 Call of Cthulhu.
I like that one, but it upset me because player characters were fighting Cthulhu, and it took it away from me because I'm like, I know there's going
And
to
to
be
be
these.
honest, the layout of the book, I don't know if you can see it on there, but it's all very weirdly written and hard to read
Well,
because
that's the insanity.
Yeah, how's that? I'm not trying to down the book. I mean, it's old. It's an old book, but this actually got D&D players, friends of mine who were staunch D&D players, would not play anything but D&D. I'm like, okay, well, we use the exact same system that you are already familiar with.
That was
but,
from the D20. Yeah.
right? But we'll do something a little different. And I ran with pre-generated characters the adventure in the back of the book, and they absolutely loved it. We played this probably for a good 7 to 8 months before they even thought of going back to playing D&D. That's how much they liked it.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I just didn't like it because it's supposed to be horror, and
Mm-hmm.
you can't get it. And then you have the player characters who come in, they're going to tweak it or do whatever, munchkin it up, and
Yes.
oh, I killed Cthulhu. No, you didn't.
Well,
let's quiet down over
What
there.
I love about Cthulhu too
Go away.
is I'm not a huge fan of the BRP system. I mean, it's a good system in its own right, but I love the unit system, the all flesh must be eaten and whatnot. So
Yep.
I will take ideas from Call of Cthulhu and just transplant them
Oh,
into a different system if I want.
yeah, that's good. It's good for that too.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I suggest source books are good, and they write enough background that the rules are like almost secondary in their stories. They write. It's very. I want to use the word literary. Is that a good word?
Yeah, that's a good word for it. I mean,
'Cause-
investigation and research type stuff.
Yeah, they like to write backgrounds and stories, and it's like it's not so much the rules and how they got to do this and that and everything. It's here's your problem, here's your scenario. If they want to, here's the numbers we need for the basic stuff to get by, and then go.
And there's some people who really don't like it because it doesn't focus as much on combat as other
not
games.
at all.
It's more along the lines of the PC's role playing and doing research and discovering stuff. That's a linchpin for a lot of the older adventures too. Is it came down to, well, they have to make this one notice roll or locate or research roll for them to continue the adventure, and then at that point you just have to start spoon feeding them stuff. But it's a different type of game, and it's been, like I said, nothing stays around for 20 years unless people enjoy playing it, and it is an enjoyable game.
It's a very good climactic game too, because you could investigate all that time, and then at the end, that's when it all just goes straight downhill, or I was going to say right to hell, but
Right.
that's when your combat actually happens, and it's usually a running, oh God, why am I here? I want to go back to the library.
And
And
that's when the dying starts.
yeah, that's
that's when the
people die.
dying
It's like 3 people die before they know, hey, what's going on?
Yeah. As a GM, I tend to have backup characters. So when the PCs do die, like, I was role playing for most of the session. It's like, oh, okay, well, Barry died. Well, here's Joe. There you go.
Joe showed up to
Yeah.
bury Barry, and
That guy who was helping you research? Yeah, here you go. There you go.
the stand-in for the movies. Yeah, classic.
Pretty much, it's a Plan B character. So
Source material, gameplay. Sorry, I'm reading my notes here. What to go over as I talk to myself. How boring. Source material. How many years? 20 years.
20 years.
There's 20 years of source material just in the role playing.
Yes.
Not even talking about all the stories, because not only do you have the H.P. Lovecraft stories, but you have all the writers that he shared
Yes.
his world with, and all the way up to the modern day writers that still write about the mythos.
There is a huge community of people.
Oh, there is.
Who are fanatical about. I shouldn't say fanatical. I mean, but there are people out there who just love this game to such a degree that they've started their own websites and their own fandom stuff. I mean, if you're looking for anything out there, you'll find it.
And it's a different type of horror. It's not the jump out and get you. It's not the zombies.
No.
It is.
This is literally realizing that your character and humanity in general is insignificant.
It can be very different. I was on a stint for a while, and that's all I read was Cthulhu mythos stuff. And man, it was just by the end of it, I'm like, all right, I gotta read something like My Little Pony or something. It was. I went through books and books and books, and then
existentialism at its best.
It's terrible. I even remember what was that? True Detectives came out, and they talked about the Yellow King and everything.
Yeah.
And I was like, everybody's like, oh, that's it, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that wasn't. I think it was just a reference. It wasn't actually.
I remember all those things. Oh, this is going to be about Cthulhu. Awesome.
Yeah,
I'm like, wait, it does take place in Louisiana, didn't it?
Yeah.
It
It
awesome.
did have some stuff in there, but no, in the end, it wasn't. Because then I read it and I reread it again to make sure I wasn't wrong. And I'm like, no, it's just. I think it was a reference that. Anyway, it's deeper than we want to go right now, but it was Easter egg. Yeah.
I think the best way to is cosmic horror. You'll hear that a lot.
Yeah.
It's cosmic horror. It's basically the universe is much larger and more diverse and more strange than our brains could ever even possibly comprehend. And when a human catches even a small glimpse of that, it's mind shattering to them.
There's
They
also
just can't process it.
There's also even this universe is so huge and crazy. Then they also have Dreamlands.
Yeah.
Dreamlands is you fall asleep and
Go
then
there.
it's worse,
Yeah.
or it gets
Or it
better
gets
or
better.
worse.
Yeah.
It could be
Depends
nice.
on the dream.
Yeah, it depends on it. It could be nice, and then you just don't go to the wrong places or think about the wrong things. Scary Terry from Rick and Morty. But back on source material, this is what I like too. Did you see this? You ever see this?
The second quick start rules. Oh, the quick start rules.
Yeah, there's an actual little quick start rules for this game.
Yes.
And they are quick start. So
Yeah.
if you don't want to invest the $54.95, or you just want to check it out, we do have these. I think they're $9.95 or something like that.
So
So
$10 and you get an evening of something new.
yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's got to come with that. Yeah, there's characters and adventure and the basic. Yeah, the very basic. Oh yeah, the rules are a whole 10 pages. So
Yeah.
it's a very basic rule book here. But recently, and this is all brand new stuff they've put out recently. Did you see this? The Grand Grimoire. I cannot speak today. The Grand Grimoire of Cthulhu Mythos Magic.
That looks. Is that by? Yeah, it's Chaosium.
It's their stuff.
It's a tome.
All the spells.
See, spells in this game are a double-edged sword.
Oh yeah, they're
you can
terrible.
cast spells and do amazing things, but
Don't.
definitely bends your mind. That's another cool thing about the game. It actually has a mechanic for your sanity, and you, based on what you see and what you learn, your sanity starts to go down. Or if you lose it in chunks because of traumatic things, you can go temporarily insane.
Oh yeah, and then
It's very it's in depth and it's cool. It's fun.
There's
It's very
mechanics for what the rest of the group is doing while one character's in the insane asylum. Like,
Yes.
hey, he's got to go for at least a month.
Yeah.
He's lost his mind. And then when he comes back, he's not, his sanity's lower,
Right.
know?
And he's not
So
the
it's
same.
easier for him to lose it as you go. And it's good role playing, It's if you get a group of guys that are good role players, guys or girls that are good role players.
Right.
then,
See, it's tough too because you either have somebody who takes that insanity, becomes the character completely. It just takes over the entire character. But if you have somebody who's been experienced for a while, it's neat because it will show up and they can blend it in really well.
The subtle insanity.
Yeah.
Those are good too. Like, what are you talking about? And then the next thing you know, they're doing something. It's just, yeah. It's like a very tense movie if you
Yes.
play it right, and that's what you want. You have like you said, the classic. Oh, I'm screaming, and they do crazy things, but
Right.
the subtle one gets you.
And there's times where it gets to that when your character comes across something that should not be.
Yeah.
They might just fall into a puddle of goo and just sit there crying, wetting themselves. I mean, it's very possible.
But what I liked about this is the spells have always been in the book, and then they always mention books and spells and the stories and all the stories. And they're pretty good about keeping up on the I don't say mythos, everybody's writing and anything that's popular, they keep it, they bring it into the world. And I think this, I looked at this a little bit, and there's a whole bunch of stuff in there, but nothing. The spells are never good. You go insane, you lose an eye, or whatever it is. Something comes and takes your soul. It's nothing good about those.
Magic is definitely it's a bargain. It's a bargain.
Oh yeah, and it's not easy.
You never win that bargain.
Yeah, no.
It's like betting in Vegas. House always wins.
The other thing we were talking about too is these are just some of the source books. I have a pretty good collection, and recently I had to restock the Call of Cthulhu books because they sat there for a bit, and that's why I'm saying we had one guy started getting into it, another guy started getting into it, and so then they start going off the shelves. But I wanted to get some of these source books. The Reign of Terror is a source book during the French Revolution.
Now that is a great sign.
Have you seen that? Yeah, right. So
nice.
That's just asking for it. And very topical, aren't they? Having some riots over there right now. So maybe that'll fit in. You can make a story about that.
Although there's no aristocracy to cut their heads off.
Yeah,
so modern day might not go that far. But
I'd be all right. Then you bring it in the modern.
Yes.
This is 5 Epic Tales of Modern Horror. Peterson's Abominations. 5 Epic Tales of Modern Horror.
And these are just the new ones.
These are the new ones.
Some
I
of
still
the
got
older
some
ones,
Yeah.
like the Escape from Innsmouth, is probably one of my favorite adventures.
Mm-hmm.
There's the Horror on the Orient Express, which is a campaign box. We've talked about it before.
Nightmare.
But it is. I've gotten through it once in the first edition of it, not the released edition of it, and it is a great campaign. But it's one of those where if you have a steady gaming group and you play like once a week or something like that, try picking it up sometime. It is worth it.
It'll be a while.
It is a great game. Oh yeah,
a lot of source material.
At least 6 months to a year of weekly playing.
A lot of material from a lot of handouts and maps, and it's very good. It's if you like imagination, you like the game. It's good. But these are just an example, and I'm not trying to push either one of them, but these are an example of stuff. Then I got plenty more out there, but that's just what they put out now.
Yes,
all that can translate over. The rules aren't that much too different from the old game.
A little bit of
because I ran them through a Call of Cthulhu game, my group, and I used like a first edition adventure and fit right in. I didn't have any problems moving anything around. So.
And what also is cool is if you're looking for an adventure of some kind, just Google weird events in newspapers. And honestly, you'll get your juices, your creative juices going, and you'll come up with something. Oh, there's a mythos reason behind it.
Yeah,
So.
You always have that friend. Like Brock was my friend who did it. My brother Manuel used to do it. Something weird would happen. We'd send each other a message or say, "Hey, what do you think? Mythos or no?" And it's always some bizarre thing or. Yeah, man. Yeah, my brother was really good at that. He'd come up with like, "Is this mythos or whatever?" I don't know why I just thought of the story. It's not mythos. Did you ever see that story? Was it you showed me? Guy, this would be a pretty good mythos story. Back the two Russian soldiers that fought off bears while some lady was giving birth in the woods. It's like just weird stuff like that. It's like you're saying you're like only in Russia, and it's like two soldiers had to fight off bears that were trying to get at this woman giving birth, and it's bizarre. I'm like, all right, we can work. Yeah, for the whole night. It was like whatever the 9 or 10 hours it was.
9 or 10 hours of fighting off a bear
in labor.
Man,
yeah, I'd say talk about bear slap. But it's like goofy stuff. I mean, that probably wouldn't translate too good into college. It might. Yeah,
it would. Sure would.
Change the bears into something. Yeah,
change the bears. You don't have to change the bears. I mean, that woman was obviously carrying the child of some kind of.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And the other elder gods didn't want that to happen. And so,
or the soldiers didn't know that it was something evil, and they're here. They're fighting a good fight, and all of a sudden
maybe the bears. Maybe they're just regular bears, but they intrinsically knew from their instinct that was not
that's
Baba Yaga again,
that's the bad baby, and that's where the horror comes in when you're the soldiers.
Then
and
you get huts on chicken legs. I mean, it's
the soldiers. You're the soldiers, and you find the horror that you just help end the world. By your valiant deed.
Yes, and no good deed goes unpunished.
I know, right? Crazy, right? How are we on time, Josh? All right, we're about there. All right, well, that was fun. But yeah, Call of Cthulhu, you suggested?
Oh, yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
I wouldn't steer you wrong. If you're going to spend $50 on a game you want to try it, Call of Cthulhu.
Get your friends involved.
Yeah, without a doubt. Not a funny thing, but you know what a great thing is? Chaosium is one of the companies. They have a thing called Brick and Mortar Assistance or something like that. I can't remember the company. But certain games, if you come in and you buy the hard copy, I can email you a PDF of the
nice.
Right, or if you have a zip drive, I can put it on there for you right now. This is one of the companies that if you buy it from a brick and mortar store, you will get a free PDF copy of the item. All their source books, anything they have printed, as long as they have it on there, it's there.
And their website itself has tons of PDFs and even PDFs of fans who wrote such good adventures.
Yeah,
They're like, we're not going to publish them, but we're going to put it on our website.
Yeah.
And, they obviously charge a little bit for it.
Yeah, you got to make money. Yeah.
Some of the fan stuff is just stellar.
Yeah, it's really good. It's a company that cares about the story.
Yes.
Rules are simple and solid, and they're not going anywhere. But if you want a good story, and even some of the novels, all in all, just pick up the basic. I think we have it on the shelf. I think I have the basic H.P. Lovecraft's like core stories, and just pick it up. I always try to keep that in stock as one of the novels I carry. But any of his stuff, and if you're new to it or anything like that, I suggest you start with Dunwich Horror.
Yeah,
that's the one
really
you can
sets you up into it.
That can set you up into what you're getting into. You read some of the other stories and they're kind of out there a little bit until you know what you're doing. But
for
Dunwich
younger
Horror,
readers, though, you got to understand this was written by a guy who was very much he embodied the Gilded Age, even though it had passed since he was born. But his language is different.
Yes,
it's not hard to read, but he definitely uses a lot of adjectives.
Yeah, you're gonna need a dictionary.
He doesn't just say like the moon was bright tonight. It's the gibbous moon, illuminated. I mean, it's very well written. It's just it
will increase your vocabulary if you read it.
It will. Yeah.
I use words. That's why I can't talk sometimes. Is because of that. I'll use words. Or I'll try to use bigger words, but I can't pronounce them or really call. And you spell
guys like you and I. We just sound retarded.
Yeah,
like moron, illiterate fools. Like what are you trying to say?
It is well written, and also it is rough. It's a different time period too.
Yes,
it's rough. So just don't be shocked by what you read or what they felt or what they believe or how they did things. It's
early 1900s,
or
early 1920s. I mean, he was part of the lost generation
after World War I.
Yeah, I mean, and 5 out of the 6 friends that he knew were dead.
Yeah,
so it's definitely
it's not funny, but yeah,
if you've ever read Hemingway,
yeah, it's very depressing. I could see where he got his depression from, but I think he ended up dying of depression, and he's got an interesting backstory.
He was young too.
Yeah,
he was a young guy. Even just his regular life was.
Oh yeah,
his dad was insane, and
he had a lot to draw on, but
yeah,
it's good stuff, and just pick it up, and just like I said, any of the basic stuff. And
if you're in the Cleveland area and you want to play a game, like, you will find tons of people online.
Yeah,
I've before I'd be like, all right, hey, anybody out there? It's tough because you got to go through sites that you can at least look at the people, so you just get a feeling.
Pick your group. Make sure you fit in.
Yeah, make sure you fit in. But I mean, if you're new to the area and stuff, this is one of those games. Like there are people like, oh, I really love Traveler, or I really love some of the more fringe games. Like if you play D&D, you can find a D&D game anywhere.
Yeah.
Call of Cthulhu is kind of similar. That's what I was trying to get at. It's it's very similar. Like it's got a huge following. There are people who play it. It's not like I'm the only one with this copy and nobody else will play this game with me.
Yeah, I will geek out about Call of Cthulhu because I'm really deep into the background, and I'll like D&D I enjoy. I'm happy, right. But I know it's a game, and this I'll be like, oh, and then this, and then I really geek out like it, and I gotta catch myself. Like, all right, stop. You're making people nervous. Sorry, but all right. Well, that's what I got. Thumbs up on that one.
Oh
too.
Yeah.
And let me get some before we sign out here. I'm going to mess this up, Josh, so you better help me out as we go. We have our Patreon up and running with contributors or sponsors or signs up for it. We actually have them. I have a list.
Like us. You really like us.
Somebody likes us or pays attention. I mean, I'm going to give a shout out to these guys. Andres Perez. I'm going to mess up his last name, but Andres Perez. There's Elion, Gerald, Jana Albers, Kristen Darby, Kyle Wells, Meliovia, Robert Jarina, Roger Cherney, Rusty Lightel, and Sarah Bookshar. Those are our latest signups, right? Patreon, go on there. We have different levels. We have $1, $5, and $10. We have different raffles. We have different sign-ups. We have different things going on. We have this podcast. I mean, most of this stuff you can view anyway, but this is a way to support us as we go. And with this, you can vote for different things and be part of it. We also have, I just signed on for, oh my God, Discord. I can never remember it. You sign up for Discord. So as a member of the Patreon, you can talk to us and everybody else in the Patreon group. We have In Response, which is a Magic Arena with Ross. Katie Paints with Kristen. Flavored Text board game group. Flavored Text. Family of 4, family of 5. Love board games. They are always bugging me about board games. Like all hours of day and night. They have exciting ideas. There's a lot of things going on. Sundays is when they're here, and Sundays is going to be our board game. So we're going to plow ahead, and we have a lot of response. 40K Mondays is always there. To come play, come see, come watch, and check out everything.
Come on up. It's a great community.
Yeah. I mean, we do a lot. Aren't you gonna? You're gonna go play a Blood Bowl game right now, aren't you?
I am. Yeah.
We have a Blood Bowl league, right?
Yes.
Another Blood Bowl league. We have a lot of stuff going on.
Yes. There are so many ways to nerd it up here at Immortals that it's got a little bit for everybody. So come on down into the dungeon.
We have that. Go to our website, immortalsinconline.com. You can get all our stuff from there. Facebook, of course, Immortals Inc., and all the other medias that we're on. I don't know if you guys saw, but I got this cool T-shirt. It has our podcast logos on it. All of our T-shirts from all of our stuff are available. Streamlads.com/Immortals Inc. I think they're $19.99, right, for T-shirts. It's a reasonable price. Not bad. It's a pretty good. Actually, that's why I bought this, because I wanted to make sure it wasn't like somebody just stuck it on there, crappy. But $20.
It's an iron-on.
Yeah, it's an iron. No, it's good. It's standard, material. It's a good shirt. I like the shirt too. It's hefty tee. So we're not gonna rip you off on a cheapo T-shirt with some tape on it. So yeah, it's $20. Pretty
DIY
good.
with a Sharpie.
Yeah, so I got a guy in the back just making T-shirts. And I have a crazy request. If anybody's out there. We have music at the front of the podcast and the end of the podcast. I'd like to change it up. So if there's anybody who's a local musician or anybody who's like small, I don't got a lot, but if you want to put your stuff on here, I don't even care about ridiculous or whatever we got. As long as it's gaming related or something, give me an email. Email us at immortalsinc@yahoo.com, or come in and call, or just get in contact with me on Facebook. And you can always stick it on the front end and the back end of my podcast. So
Cool.
Anything else, Nate?
No, just come on down to Immortal sometime. Right. Come on down, especially for the Christmas holidays here.
Oh yeah, Christmas.
Got a gaming friend?
Christmas.
Yes, come on down.
And we have gift cards and all that other good nonsense.
And if you like what you hear, toss a Patreon.
Yeah, get on the Patreon. It's cool. All the cool kids are doing it.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
All right.
We just listed off a bunch of cool kids here.
I know,
Be part of that group.
Well, I don't know about this one. No, I'm kidding. No, they're all cool. All right. Till next time, guys. See you later.
Bye.